So, behind closed doors in Washington, a new kind of battle plan is unfolding. Not with tanks or missiles, but with chips, code, quantum computing, and not computing power, but with algorithms. The White House has dropped its official strategy, Executive Order 14179, mobilizing America's digital forces to defend, regulate, and dominate the global AI frontier. Hello to all my perseverance pioneers out there. This is the Perseverance Mindset Podcast, coming to you live from the famous Dialogue Den, where mindset meets mission and drives momentum. So in the 20th century, we raced to the moon. And today we're racing towards to control the most powerful force of the 21st century. And that is artificial intelligence. So the battle for this 21st century isn't being fought with armies, but with algorithms. A new global race has begun, and the United States has just unveiled its master plan to win the AI arms race. This isn't just about tech. It's about who gets to write the rules of the future and what it will impact from everything from your job security. The White House has released a sweeping strategy for artificial intelligence, a document, 28-page document, titled Winning the Race America's AI Action Plan, designed to lock in U.S. global leadership in the realm of AI with a sharp focus of out innovating China. This plan is a declaration of intent, a strategic pivot that favors blistering speed over cautious steps. It's built on a core belief stated right in the document. The nation with the largest AI ecosystem will set the global standards and reap huge economic and military benefits. The administration is making it clear it intends to win the AI arms race. But what does it actually mean for you? For all of our perseverance pioneers out there, how does a high level government strategy hit the real world? This plan is packed with over 90 federal policy actions that will touch every corner of the economy, from the factory floor to the data center to the classroom to the battlefield. It's a blueprint that aims to reshape the American workforce through and through, redefine national security, and kickstart an infrastructure build out we haven't seen in a generation. So, what's really inside America's new AI action plan and how will it reshape the world? We're going to dissect the plan's three foundational pillars to explain how the government plans to turbocharge innovation, counter global competitors, and re engineer the very fabric of American labor in this age of AI and artificial intelligence. But before we get into the nuts and bolts here, you have to just understand the philosophy driving the thinking and the mindset. We're all about mindsets here at the Perseverance Mindset Podcast. Mindset, momentums, and mission. So this isn't just a policy update. It's a fundamental shift in how the United States sees, interacts with artificial intelligence. The previous administration's approach was largely defined as a safety first mentality, focused on guardrails, responsible innovation. So that era is over. This new AI action plan marks a decisive pivot to an innovation first strategy. The core idea is the biggest risk isn't moving too fast, it's moving too slow to reap those benefits. The document frames AI's development as a geopolitical competition of the highest caliber, of the highest order, a tech rivalry that will define this century and leaves no doubt who the primary competitor is. Primary competitor is China. For years, analysts have warned of China's ambition to become the world's AI leader. Beijing released its own national AI strategy a little bit before us, 2017, viewing AI as a key to leapfrogging into the U.S. economically and militarily. The U.S. government now officially agrees, stating that competition with China is a central pillar of its national security apparatus. But why is this race so critical? What happens if America falls behind? We've done other episodes of why America can't afford to lose the AI arms race. The consequences, as the plan sees them, are severe. This isn't just about losing bragging rights over some chatbot. First, there's an economic fallout. The nation that leads in AI will dominate the industries of the future, through and through, from advanced military manufacturing and the drug discovery to logistics and finance. AI is set to be the new engine of economic growth. You can compare it to the steam engine, the birth of the automobile, and so many other inventions that shaped the globe upon their discovery, upon their invention. The country that sets the standards will not only capture trillions in market value, market cap, will also command the global economic landscape. So we're talking about artificial intelligence and that global economic landscape. What isn't captured with that? You're talking about whole economy, whole jobs, white collar jobs, blue collar jobs. You're talking whole industries, firms, different kind of firms, remote, hybrid work, and all of that's going to change. Falling behind means becoming a consumer of foreign technology, dependent on other nations' platforms. We learned from that from COVID, not a good thing. And giving up high paying jobs in the industries of tomorrow. Not something we want to do when we were behind the most brilliant fallout of NAFTA, the hollowing out of America's Main Street to ensure the profits of boardrooms. Secondly, the national security implications are huge, just out there. AI is fundamentally changing warfare, intelligence, and cybersecurity. These are pillars that aren't going anywhere. They're only going to develop and become more advanced. They're going to become more advanced for people seeking to do great things with them and the tools to increase revenue, to make companies more efficient. But they're also going to be a useful tool for bad actors, for the criminal element out there. And all these cyber crimes are going to also advance in that way. So we need to be knowledgeable. We need to be ready for the page of tomorrow. So it's changing how much we look at everything: warfare, intelligence, cybersecurity, autonomous weapons, AI-driven cyber attacks, algorithmic surveillance aren't sci-fi anymore. This is reality. Losing the AI race means becoming vulnerable on a digital battlefield where an adversary could shut down critical infrastructure, compromise defense systems, or unleash disinformation in a terrifying scale and speed. The plan is to direct about this, stating that denying adversaries access to advanced AI is a matter of national security. Finally, and maybe most importantly, this battle over values. The nation that leads in AI will have a massive influence on the ethics and standards that, in fact, will govern it. The fear is that a nation like China, with its model of authoritarian surveillance, becomes the dominant power of AI. Can't allow that to happen. If it's willing to surveil its own people, if it's willing to do all these things using technology it has now, imagine if it was to become the leader in artificial intelligence. Its values will be baked into the world's technological infrastructure. The action plan is therefore framed not just as an economic or military strategy, but to fight to ensure the future of AI is shaped by countries like the United States, democratic republic principles, not authoritarian control. This is the urgent problem the AI action plan is built to solve. It's a vision of high stakes future where tech leadership is tied directly to prosperity, security, and most importantly, freedom. The plan is the government's answer, a multi pronged strategy to make sure America just doesn't compete, but it wins. So I want to bring it up on the screen here. So the official AI action plan here. Let me bring it up. It's going to take me a second. Okay, so we do have it up on the screen here. So let's bring it up here. Let's take a look at the America's AI Action Plan. So here it is, Winning the Race, America's AI Action Plan, July, course of this year. So, quote from the president: "Today, a new frontier of scientific discovery lies before us, defined by a transformative technology such as artificial intelligence. The breakthroughs in these fields have the potential to reshape global balance of power, which they do, spark entirely new industries, and revolutionize the way we live and work as our global competitors race to exploit these technologies. It is a national security imperative for the United States to achieve and maintain the questioned and unchallenged global technological dominance to secure our future. We must harness the full power of American innovation." Highly powerful. That's a highly powerful statement. So going further down, we have all this here. Again, you can find all this on whitehouse.gov, AI action plan. We're not going to go in through all this, but again, the pillars are this: accelerate AI innovation, removing red tape and regulation. Okay, going through, that's pillar one. It's a 28-page document. We're also going to empower American workers in the age of AI. So going through, okay, let's get to section 2, 3 pillars of the plan. Hold on. Pillar 2. So I want to build American infrastructure and also going into that. So AI is the first digital service in the modern life that challenges America to build vastly greater energy generation than we have today. American energy capacity has stagnated since the 1970s. While China has rapidly built out their grid, America's path to AI dominance depends on changing this troubling trend. Very true. It's very true, and such a great thing that the White House is saying this. Again, you can find all this at whitehouse.gov, AI action plan. And again, the last pillar, pillar 3, lead in international AI diplomacy and security. So, to succeed in this AI competition, America must do more than promote AI within its borders. The United States must also drive the adoption of American AI systems, computing hardware, and the standards throughout the world. America currently is the global leader on data center construction, computing hardware, performance, and models, but it is imperative that the United States leverage this advantage into an enduring global alliance while preventing our adversaries from free riding on our innovation and investment. So that is quite a statement because everybody on my podcast knows that we've talked about the basically small businesses have been getting gypped off and ripped out by China for years because we can't do anything if they copy a product and basically resell it cheaper to our market, ripping off American businesses here. So that's it right here. Again, you can find this on whitehouse.gov. So getting back into it, right? Getting back into it. Now, with that, I wanted to show you the actual document like we did. So, in this solution, facing global competition, the US government has laid out this action plan that we just showed you on the screen, a blueprint designed to be the nation's strategic answer. This isn't one single law, it's a massive whole of government approach over the 90 distinct policy. It represents a clear choice to prioritize speed, commercialization, and deregulation to achieve the AI dominance, thus winning the AI arms race. The entire strategy is built on 3 pillars that map it out. They are, again, as we went through, accelerating the AI innovation, building out a powerful national infrastructure, and also leading international AI diplomacy. Like we were showing you on the screen, we wanted to give you to see the document, so we did. So this framework that we just looked at signals a major departure from past priorities, instead focusing on preemptive safety frameworks. Those days are gone. This plan is designed to remove the red tape and unleash private investment to get us to those goals of AI, to get deployed across the economy and government as fast as humanly possible. While it builds on previous executive actions aimed at removing barriers, its philosophy represents a significant strategic pivot towards an innovation first mindset. So now let's break down each of these pillars. We'll explore these specific policies and what they're supposed to achieve, what this all means for the country. This is the heart of the plan, the how behind the strategy to win the AI arms race, as we've pointed here on our show. So, pillar 1, the first pillar of the action plan, is easily the most ambitious. It's built on a simple but powerful idea. You can't lead a digital revolution without building the physical foundation for it. This pillar is all about speed, focusing on construction and massive national infrastructure, a goal that touches everything from our national energy grid and land use to semiconductor factories. So that's number 1. Again, going on, we can talk about the great American build-out, data centers and deregulation. At the center of the AI revolution is the data center. These huge, power-hungry buildings are the physical home of the cloud, housing the thousands of specialized chips that train and run American AI models. The demand for them is exploding, and the action plan makes building them faster a national priority. To do this, the plan calls for major overhaul of permitting process, proposes opening up federal lands for new data centers, and for the power plants needed to run them, while also streamlining environmental reviews to cut through the red tape. This is a direct response to the fact that building a data center campus can take years. The plan aims to shrink that timeline, seeing regulatory delays not as safeguards, but as a competitive disadvantage in this AI arms race against, you guessed it, China. So, powering the AI boom, a single AI data center can use as much electricity as a small city. A single data center. So the energy demand from the AI industry is staggering, but it possesses a massive challenge to our power grid. The action plan tackles this head on, knowing that AI's thirst for power could be the biggest bottleneck to its growth and its potential. The plan prioritizes the stability of the grid above all else. It calls for preventing the shutdown of critical power plants, a signal that reliable energy sources are seen as vital national assets, but also looks to the future, pushing for advanced energy like enhanced geothermal systems, next generation nuclear, and even fission to power America's AI ambitions goals long term. This focus energy shows how big the government is thinking, not just now, but decades from now. So it's basically a call to re-engineer America's energy landscape for a new industrial revolution that we're already in. We're not approaching this AI industrial revolution. We're in it right now. So AI isn't just about software. It depends on highly specialized hardware, especially advanced semiconductors and chips. And we've talked about on this podcast. Well, for decades, chip manufacturing has been concentrated in Asia. This plan aims to help reverse that trend, building on that CHIPS Act to bring chip production back home. The strategy calls for modernizing the power grid to support new semiconductor and streamlining their permits, not just like with data centers. This is about securing a domestic supply chain for the most critical component in AI. Relying on foreign chips is seen as a strategic vulnerability, which it is, that this plan is determined to fix. The goal is to ensure that the US controls its own destiny from Valley to the software. Of course, you can't build these data centers without skilled people. A key part of this pillar is a national initiative to train workers for these high demand jobs, not just software engineers, but electricians, HVAC technicians, and data center operators. These are great opportunities. These are great jobs. These are some of the hands on jobs needed to build and run our new infrastructure in this AI industrial revolution. So, after that, we're talking about speed, right? We're talking about moving fast and innovating. So, underpinning this entire pillar is a radical shift in regulatory thinking. The plan explicitly argues that overly cautious safety regulation can stifle innovation and put American companies at a disadvantage, even after the disadvantages of NAFTA and the disaster that was. So, we don't want to be held up anymore with this. So, it is also strongly signals that it wants a unified national approach, discouraging a patchwork of high state level rules that could create barriers to innovation. The message is clear: get on board with the national strategy of rapid innovation or risk getting left behind. This is a bet that the best way to ensure that safe and beneficial AI is to make sure that American companies are the ones leading its development and investment, setting the global standard through market dominance. So while Pillar 1 is about building the hardware, Pillar 2 confronts the direct human question: what happens to our jobs? Which is asked, quite frankly, daily. And that's what people are worried about the most. Now, I know there's a lot of massive fear out there that AI will cause this massive unemployment. The fear that AI will cause this mass unemployment is real. The pillar is the government's answer, a worker first agenda designed to navigate this huge economic shift of the country and of the technological age we're in. The plan's argument is that AI should be a tool to complement human workers, not just replace them and throw them aside, because of the massive scale that a lot of firms are going to have to re engineer workplaces, re engineer employees. We have to be prepared for that. So we're looking at this from a worker first promise: complement, not replace workers. The official position of the AI Action Plan is optimistic. It claims that while some jobs will change over time, the overall effect of AI will be to augment our abilities, to boost productivity, and spark whole new job categories. We're seeing this already across many different firms. The vision is that the massive infrastructure build out and AI integration will create a new wave of economic growth and better paying jobs. But the plan isn't naive. It admits that this transition, it's not going to be easy. It's just not. Decades and decades of doing a skill and being good at a job now have to retrain for the jobs of the future, it's going to have some bumpy roads. But it recognizes that workers need new skills and the job market is about to change big time. Nobody's denying that at all. The goal isn't to stop the change, but to get ahead of it, equip the American worker to be prepared for these changes. And that's what the AI action plan is all about. So, the cornerstone of that pillar for the National Skills Building Initiative, what's interesting about this is it doesn't just focus on coders and data scientists, which we would already assume that's going to be a heavy part of this AI industrial age that we're in. It puts a heavy emphasis on the skilled trades that are critical to building that AI ecosystem. The plan highlights in a coming shortage of electricians, advanced HVAC technicians, and data center operators, the quote unquote new collar jobs that form the backbone of our digital infrastructure. The initiative aims to close the gap between targeted training programs and apprenticeships, opening jobs and opportunities right there. It's a practical recognition that America can't lead in AI if we don't have the people to build the data centers and plug them in. If we don't have that, there is no AI industrial revolution. There is no AI comeback in America. There is no AI implementation in America. This focus is grounding in creating real career paths for millions of Americans, not starting decades from now, right now. So, to manage the broader impact on the workforce and the American workforce, the plan calls for expanded research into AI's real time effects on the labor market, helping policymakers stay ahead of the curve. For, for workers whose jobs are directly affected by AI, the plan calls for rapid retraining programs, not just leaving people behind. The Department of Labor will be funded too quickly to create pilot programs for displaced workers, helping them gain new in demand skills. It's an attempt to build a more agile safety net for everybody that could be affected by this age of artificial intelligence. The plan also wants to weave AI literacy into the entire education pipeline, from technical schools to apprenticeships to encourage this. It clarifies the tax code, allowing employers to offer tax-free reimbursement for a wide range of employee AI training programs. So this is phenomenal. This gives companies a powerful financial reason to upskill their own people, fostering a culture of continuous learning, which, if you have any job today, continuous learning is the outcome. It is the goal, no matter what you do. This pillar is the government's attempt to write a new social contract for the age of AI, betting on the adaptability of the American worker. So we're about to get into the final pillar here of this AI action plan, which covers high stakes world of national security, and it might be the most juicy part out there for a lot of our perseverance pioneers, depending on what we talk about on our shows. And I'm sure you're going to like this part of Pillar 3 as well. So with Pillar 3, if you're finding this breakdown valuable, take a second below and hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you on our page and one of our followers as a perseverance pioneer. So we track these developments, and we're going to continue talking about the AI growth in America. We're going to continue talking about everything that's happening in the world of AI. That's one of the things we cover here on the Perseverance Mindset podcast. Again, mindset, mission, and momentum. Those are our core values here. So your support helps us keep bringing you this kind of in-depth analysis. So on to Pillar 3. The third pillar brings us full circle, right back to the raw competition that drives the whole strategy. This part is all about protecting American power and influence on the world stage. It details an aggressive plan to lead in AI diplomacy, set the rules for technology, and use AI to strengthen national security with a laser focus on outmaneuvering, you guessed it, China. This pillar drives home the plan's core belief. Market leadership translates directly into geopolitical influence. The country that develops the dominant AI platforms will naturally export its standards and values to the rest of the world. Who would you rather have exporting those values to the world, US or China? The strategy isn't just to build better tech at home, to make sure that American tech becomes the global standard. This means a major diplomatic shift, an economic push to get US-made AI systems into the hands of allies and partners. It's a direct challenge to China's digital Silk Road, which exports its technology and surveillance models. The US has planned to offer a better alternative built on American innovation. This economic arsenal that we're building with this AI action plan To win this contest, the plan uses both offense and defense. Defensively, it means strengthening and expanding exports controls on critical AI technologies. This is aimed at squarely at slowing China's progress by cutting off its access to high end chips and software needed to train top tier AI models. The plan calls for closing loopholes to ensure America's most advanced tech doesn't end up into the hands of the country that's been stealing our business capabilities and innovations for decades, and doesn't end up in their hands of our biggest competitor. Offensively, the plan calls for a new era of AI diplomacy, a new initiative within the Department of Commerce that will be created to actively help sell American AI systems abroad. The government will help broker these deals for full US AI technology stack from hardware to data centers to software applications. The goal is to build a global AI alliance with America at the heart and center. So, the final piece of Pillar 3 is all about using AI for national defense. We've talked about this on this podcast many times. Artificial intelligence is changing warfare, it's changing how we work, it's changing how we do things in our daily lives. So, in Pillar 3, this plan mandates a thorough review of national security risks posed by the most advanced frontier AI models, especially their potential in use in developing chemical, biological, and radiological or nuclear threats. To counter the biosecurity risk, there's a very specific directive. Any research institution getting federal funds must secure these tools. This is designed to stop bad actors from using AI to help design and create dangerous pathogens. So the Department of Defense is given a critical role in this. With priority access to all AI infrastructure and top talent, I might add, the plan calls for secure facilities where military can test AI and autonomous systems safely. This is all about accelerating the military's adoption of AI to maintain a technological edge on the battlefield. Finally, the plan emphasizes using AI as a defensive shield to bolster cybersecurity of America's critical infrastructure. The strategy is to fight AI with better AI, using power to defend against the very threats it can create. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Now, there's a few caveats to the road ahead, some of the challenges and the uncertainties out there. So we want to go through them. No plan comes big without some serious questions. While the AI action plan lays out a bold vision, and it's commendable, its success is anything but guaranteed. But we have to think big. A real analysis means looking at the hurdles ahead. So some of the caveats are, some of the blueprints. These are blueprints, not laws. The first things first, it's critical to remember that this AI action plan is not law. It's a strategic blueprint that can be used as a list of over 90 recommendations for federal agencies. While it shows the administration's clear intent in turning these ideas into reality, it's going to require a massive shift, coordinated effort, not to mention sustained political will. The plan sets the destination, but the journey will be complicated, no doubt, with how huge this leap is. There's going to be some complications. So, another caveat would be whiplash for industry and states. The plan's abrupt shift from a safety first to an innovation first approach could create real uncertainty. Many tech companies have invested heavily in responsible AI programs based on previous guidelines, though they're given new guidance. So, this is the new deregulatory stance. While welcomed by some, this could cause severe whiplash, to be honest. And this especially true for states that have their own stricter AI's laws that are already passing the laws and regulations on AI. So the plan's clear preference for federal preemption over a patchwork of state rules sets up potential conflict. There's going to be conflict between states' laws and federal law. That stuff all gets sorted out in the wash, a lot anyway. So this could be a messy landscape for business owners to navigate, but more to come with that. So another caveat to this would be the environmental and energy giant part of this. Perhaps the biggest challenge is to steer the physical scale of the plan's ambitions. The call to rapidly build a vast new infrastructure of data centers and power plants it's monumental and it's commendable. Haven't seen that in a generation. The energy needs alone are immense, and it will put an unprecedented strain on the nation's power grid, which is already behind. While the plan champions this build out, it sidesteps some tough questions. So, fundamental question is, can the US actually build this much this fast without major environmental consequences or passing huge costs on to the public. We were talking about how energy companies and electric companies were just passing this on to the consumer. So that's something we need to keep in mind as well with that caveat. The success of the entire innovation pillar hangs on that answer. So perseverance pioneers, the road ahead is paved with both incredible opportunity, but yet massive obstacles. This AI action plans is a high risk, high reward strategy. It's a bet that speed is the ultimate advantage and that unleashed private sector can overcome any challenge. So, for all my perseverance pioneers out there, that's America's AI action plan, a bold, aggressive strategy to secure the nation's dominance in the defining technology of our lifetime. We've broken down the three pillars. Summarizing them up, first, a massive push to accelerate innovation by squashing regulations and starting a nationwide construction boom of data centers, power plants. Second, a huge effort to reshape the American workforce with a focus on practical skills and rapid retraining. And third, a decisive plan for winning the world stage by using export controls and building global alliances around American technology. This plan is more than just policy, it's a new philosophy, and it's not going anywhere in this AI industrial revolution we're currently in. It's an unapologetic embrace of innovation first, some might even say America first. I bet that the best way to handle AI risks is to make sure America is the undisputed champion and leader in building it and giving it to the rest of the globe. It chooses speed, possibly over compromising safety, and competition over caution. The ambition is undeniable. Haven't seen this in a generation. This could be equated to NASA in the 60s, going to the moon, setting bold visions. This plan is to re engineer the nation's infrastructure, transform the workforce, and lock in its geopolitical leadership for the next century. But the challenge is just as big as the ambition. From the staggering energy demand to the complex task of reskilling millions and millions of workers and navigating a fierce global rivalry, this will not be either easy. What do you think is the single biggest hurdle America faces in turning this blueprint into reality? Comment below. Is this an energy demand, the workforce transition, or the competition with China? Let me know your thoughts, Perseverance Pioneers, in the comments below. Like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get this dialogue going here in our dialogue den. And of course, if you want to stay ahead of the curve on the tech that's shaping our world, make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe to the Perseverance Mindset Podcast. We cover everything from business to tech to cyber to fitness to health. So many topics out there we discuss in our famous dialogue den, and we're working to keep you, our Perseverance Pioneers, informed. So this is John Zedzura signing off. Thanks for watching.